Gary's being investigated by the FBI.
Next Wednesday.
I need your help.
Gary, I could get fired just being on the phone with you. All the partners are coming in today. You need to get your story together.
If they're not careful,
Sorry, miss, we're not open yet. You may not be opening. Excuse me?
the past could come back to haunt them.
What inspires you to seek out therapy?
I think we should talk about what happened.
I should be fine, right?
Is she gonna be a problem for us? You let me worry about her.
Get here now. I just heard them mention your name.
Tyler Perry's Sistas, all new next Wednesday.
Okay, Sistas fans, you just saw the promo for Season 7, Episode 3, Grand Openings and Closings. Man, oh man, we have a lot to cover here. So before moving into the actual breakdown, which again will encompass both the trailer you just saw and the end credit promo at the end of this week's episode, please take a moment to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video, follow me on social media, links are in the description below, and hit the bell icon and select all, that way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. So, a rather short synopsis, but the trailer itself is pretty wild. So, Karen's grand opening is full of surprises. Andy feels the pressure at work as her dealings with Gary may end her career. And you know me, I'm always a fan of seeing consequences for character actions. So, where to begin? I guess first things first, we ought to just kind of pick up where we left off. A very good cliffhanger. The new character Hudson, he's the one that barged into Gary's office to just let him know, yo man, it's hit the fan. The entire operation is being exposed for being a scam. We might be facing a lawsuit, pansy scheme, and he just listed off all these different terms he's been hearing from the various investors and people who are now seeing Gary's company for what it really is. Now, Gary is freaking out saying, why can't she answer her dang phone? I funded her entire lifestyle and she can't be bothered to answer her phone. My question is, why is he even calling Andy? Is this to like warn her or basically say, don't say anything? But then Hudson is like, is she going to be a problem for us? And Gary's like, no, you let me worry about her. So I wonder if we're, going back to season 1, season 2 lore where, and I'll do a separate video on this, but back in season 1 and part of season 2, it was established that, everything that Gary was arrested for from, by the feds regarding money laundering, scamming, this sort of stuff, it was all a fake scenario drummed up by Jasmine, Morris, and Bellamy in order to help Jasmine get out of her marriage with as much as possible since there's no prenup and basically let Gary take the fall. But now it seems that, it actually was the case that Gary is guilty of all of these things, which is really funny because when you go back to season 2, had Andy known about this, she wouldn't have provided that information that Leslie gave her to like her bosses and whatnot to show the feds in order to clear Gary's name as well, because the information cleared her name, but it also cleared Gary's as well. So imagine if that never happened and Gary stayed locked up. And we know the only reason she did this to help Gary was because she loved him, which is stupid in itself. And things would have been really different if things mapped out that way. Crazy when you think about it, huh? But in any case, now Andy's going to be looked at under the magnifying glass as well, because over at the law firm, it's like Black Friday. People are just scurrying around like ants, and it's crazy. What's happening? Gary's being investigated by the FBI. Again, this harkens back to season 2, episode 1, when the feds were rushing around the building and Fatima was stalling, pretty much going to Andy's office and seeing about hiding incriminating evidence. So I wonder if that plot point is going to come up, because remember, she took something from Andy's desk, like maybe the hard drive or something like that, or flash drives, basically things that if the feds got their hands on it, there may have been a chance Andy would have gotten locked up along with Gary. So Andy's just like, oh, I should be fine, right? I don't know. But what does happen is that Fatima tells Andy, look, all of the partners are coming in today. You need to get your story together, which is pretty wild because no, this doesn't include Robin because of the whole thing of him getting kicked out of the company due to Gary and Hayden's shenanigans. A fun theory amongst us fans is what if Robin is the one pulling the strings behind the scenes? But I think it would be even crazier if Penelope was the one to do it after Gary hurt her the night before at Andy's place. But Andy doesn't stay at work because later on we see her over at the salon opening. So over at Karen's Fresh Start Salon, Pam is just trying to encourage her like, hey, fresh start, but then the powers just go out. I don't know if this is before or after. It looks like Karen's all dressed up, Pam's checking her out, make sure she looks good, and then some random woman just walks in and is like, you may not be opening. And Karen's like, excuse me? So I don't know who this woman is. Could this be Shauna, female, 42, open ethnicity, tall, well put together, this no-nonsense, direct, uncompromising building owner demands her money. Now, I did a video where it sounds like this could be the landlord at Maurice's apartment, where maybe he's not making enough money to pay the rent, even though that may contradict what he said in this week's episode where he told Sabrina, doing what I'm doing online, I'm making 3 times as much as you do at the bank. So if Shauna isn't the landlord of Maurice's place, could Shauna be the person that we're seeing in this trailer? But how is she the building owner if Karen bought the building with Brian's help? I don't know. There's a lot of things that don't add up about the Brian thing, especially since we dropped that to the wayside during the 3-month time skip. So I don't know who this woman is, but it will be pretty wild if this scene takes place before Pam is giving Karen that encouraging fresh start, but then the power goes out. So it's like they don't give her the money. And then when Pam is excited to tell Karen, look, don't worry, it's a fresh start, we'll be okay. But then she cuts the power out. But that doesn't seem to be the case because later in the trailer, we see the grand opening going well. People are in the salon having, a good time. Everything is great. But speaking of the grand opening itself, we need to talk about what's happening outside of the event. So Zach pulls up, and it looks like before he gets out of his vehicle, Miss Lisa randomly hops in. And it's good to see her this early in the season, no doubt. And you could just tell by the way Zach is looking, he's rather shocked that Miss Lisa just popped up out of nowhere. And you could kind of tell based on her look that she isn't necessarily happy to see Zach. And we kind of get the vibe that maybe she's going to stop him from going to the salon opening. And we do get confirmation of this because in the end credit promo of the episode, Zach, looks like he's getting home. Fatima's like, oh, wow, what are these? And Zach takes a moment. These were for Karen's salon opening. Was as in, hey, I bought these for the opening. I went, but I didn't go in. And it seems like Miss Lisa was the one that told him not to. And Fatima's face just says it all in regards to these were for the opening. So it's like, so not only did you go to the opening, we don't know if Fatima knows if he went or not, but you bought flowers? I'm guessing Miss Lisa told him not to go because of the whole thing of it. Hey, this is my daughter's, this is Karen's big day, restarting after, what happened with the old salon, and I don't want her to be stressed or anything like that, so maybe it's best if you don't come in. My question to that is, what about the Aaron thing? Does she know that Aaron is quote unquote not the father based on the DNA paperwork and Karen kicked him to the curb? And does Miss Lisa believe that Zach is the father because Karen said so, even though there's no paperwork to confirm it? why would she tell him not to go in there if he is the baby father? But I'm guessing it's mama bear mode. It's like, this is Karen's day about the salon. No need of adding any confusion to it. So please go home and keep the flowers too. So that should be pretty interesting in itself. But at the salon opening, Fatima is on the phone. Well, actually, sorry. It looks like she's still at the law firm. And get here now, I just heard them mention your name. And you see Andy walking around the salon and she is spooked. So she's going to have to zoom off and probably confront the issue at work. And the question is, does she have her story straight? So aside from that, we got the introduction of the new character, Krita. She is the therapist who actually makes a home visit to Danny's and basically just asks what inspired you to seek out therapy. So we also get a scene which I do believe takes place at the salon with the girls. You got Sabrina, you got Danny, and you got Andy. And Sabrina, out of nowhere, I asked Rich to give me his sperm. Danny just takes a sip of her drink like, And Andy, the way she said, what? Like her voice just dropped. I was dead. But then we also see a scene, and look, it just goes back to how the writing and pacing is just so wild this season in the best way possible, because we're jumping to so many places within a single episode. But over at the bank, it looks like, I was so close to calling him Bill. Rich comes over, and I think we need to talk about what happened. And you look at Sabrina, you could tell she's sad, but yeah, it was pretty awkward. I mean, hopefully maybe he will apologize for just leaving the way he did, but maybe and hopefully we'll see Sabrina actually apologize for the way she was behaving. And yeah, she was drunk, but still, I mean, the man said, hey, I don't want to have kids, but you just kept pushing up on him. Look, I need your sperm. I want your sperm. Come to the bedroom. And well, even if he did come to the bedroom, he wouldn't have had an opportunity to, because she passed out as soon as she hit the bed. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. Now, to round things out for the trailer, Gary's on the phone saying, hey, I need your help. Hayden's like, look, I can get fired just by being on the phone with you. So folks, this season is starting off with a bang. I know the first episode was a rocky start for a lot of people, but episode 2 really picked up the pace, and it seems like things are not slowing down. This is episode 3, and the hype is real. This is usually some penultimate episode right before the mid or season finale. And I can't wait to see how things are going to unfold next week. So again, if you are excited about next week's episode, hit that thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. And if you are someone who is frequent on the channel, but you haven't committed, just hit subscribe. It takes only a second and it does wonders for me. So we're getting closer to 300,000 subscribers. So the more people who subscribe, the faster we get there. So with that being said, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.